Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Come on in. Come on in. Hmm. Happy Monday. Mhm. Hey, y'all. Happy Monday. I hope y'all are doing good. I wanted to get on here really fast. Happy Monday. Hey, welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome into the space. How y'all doing? Not sure. Looks like one person is here. Let me know where you're tuning in from. I'll start talking in just a second. Hello, hello, hello. Hey, hey, hey. Wanted to hop on here really, really fast. I hope you all are having an amazing Monday, and that your weekend was well. I wanted to get on here just to talk about a few things because I have seen a few posts in social media on social media and across various platforms that kind of has my clinical and spiritual kind of raises my clinical and spiritual antennas and my professional antennas, all of them, all three together. And I wanted to talk about what happens really, really briefly. What happens when people override evidence? So, in other words, what happens when people stay in a place of cognitive dissonance? Cognitive dissonance. What happens when people override evidence and why people are prone to do that? How the brain begins to resist anything that feels unfamiliar and anything that feels like resistance because it threatens safety. I want to talk about that because I believe that at this time, there's a lot that's happening. There's a lot that's happening socially, there's a lot that's happening culturally, and I believe we have a responsibility. And I feel as a clinician and as a spiritual coach and as a person who's walked through some things to kind of help us. I want to jump into the neuroscience behind this. Hey, hello, welcome in, backwards dumpers. Hello, welcome into the live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I want to talk a little bit about this, and I have notes here, so I'm looking down at my phone. The neuroscience that comes with attachment to harmful people, harmful communities, harmful leaders, harmful harmful conditioning, the neuroscience behind it, right? And what happens. Because at the core, what our brains are addicted to. Our brains, oh, you can. That's fine. Our brains are addicted to safety more than it is to truth. More than it is to truth. Okay. And a lot of times the reasons why we stay is similar to and the reasons why we offer the benefit of the doubt and why we kind of keep our head in the sand is because it's sort of kind of like an abusive relationship where the trauma bonding strengthens. Hey, welcome in. The trauma bonding strengthens the sense of safety that the brain is accustomed to, because our brain, I was telling a client today, our brain is wired to seek out safety first and foremost. Our brains are wired to seek out safety. Safety first and foremost. We have to train our brains to think rationally, and we have to train our brains, right, to understand discomfort, and that discomfort doesn't mean harm. Hey, what am I teaching about? I'm talking about cognitive dissonance and how our brain rejects evidence because it prioritizes safety over truth. And I'm talking about the neuroscience of being a part of harmful environments, being a part of harmful religious communities, conditionings, leaders, the harm that it does when we don't challenge and when we don't allow our brains to live outside of the to exist outside of the comfort, but when we seek to keep uh, our brains safe even when the evidence is saying otherwise. Oh no, you're fine. You're fine, Kennedy. I just wanted to let you know what I was teaching. So, you know, our brains are very, very interesting. The mechanics of our brain is very, very interesting. And in order to train our brains to begin to think critically, we have to ask ourselves certain questions, but we also have to challenge certain beliefs, and we have to challenge the conditions and the environments that we allow our brains and our thoughts to engage in. Some things that we're holding on to as core beliefs and some things that we're holding on to as truth absolutely isn't true, but it's familiar. And here's why I'm bringing it up. I'm bringing it up because I'm seeing people across social media, and it's very disturbing, particularly people who come from religious backgrounds. It's like we don't think for ourselves, or we struggle to think for ourselves, or if we start thinking critically, then it's problematic. I saw a few posts around Dr. Carrie Bryant. I've seen posts about the different things around ISIS, or ICE rather. Seeing a lot of posts around Drewski, a lot of posts around challenging leaders. There's so much that's happening. And I have a concern as a clinician, as a person, as a spiritual guide, as a therapist. I have concerns that we don't challenge ourselves to think for ourselves, that we stay attached to harmful conditioning and harmful beliefs because it creates a sense of safety. And a lot of times this sense of safety is not authentic, it's not real, it's delusional, it's an illusion. Rather, it's an illusion. The safety is not what you think it is after all. The safety provides a false sense of comfort that ultimately keeps us stuck. Okay. So When the mind protects, and I'm just reading this off of my notes, when the mind protects the ego and the nervous system from collapse, this is called dissonance reduction, because it's easier to accept that than it is to accept a truth or a reality that what I'm being told might not be the whole story, or this relationship that I've been in, I may have chose wrong, or I might have been deceived, or this community that I've committed to is not what I believe it is. Instead of owning and being responsible, right? It's easier to hold on. It's easier to hold on and justify this dissonance, because if I have to acknowledge that I made a mistake, then somehow that equates to me failing myself. And that is absolutely not true. That's absolutely not true. Because I'm telling y'all, when we fail to challenge ourselves, we create harmful environments for people. People like Dr. Carrie Bryan, who consumed the internet for weeks. People consumed the internet for weeks for their harmful and wrong theology about scripture and about the text around how a woman dressed, what that means about character, and have been hell bent on their belief systems, so much so it squeezes out the ability and the willingness to be empathetic and to see life through a human experience and a human lens is bothersome to me. It's bothersome to me. It's bothersome to me that we can get up in arms about Drewski and skits and his depiction of things that are actually happening in churches, and it doesn't drive us to question and to challenge leaders and what they do with the money and how they're showing up. Instead, we seek to protect the image, we seek to protect the reputation of churches, of leaders. Meanwhile, we are ignoring a very obvious truth. We have leaders who are not paying taxes, tax invasion, misappropriation of funds, financial impropriety, just handling things without integrity. And because they're a leader, and because we love them, and because we have invested time, money, and energy, we don't allow ourselves to see the truth and call a spade a spade. That's a whole problem. And it messes with our mental, I am telling you the truth, it messes with our mental capacity. I am walking with clients who are healing from religious trauma, who are healing from abusive relationships, the trauma bond, because the truth of the matter is, and I can only talk about me, when I look at situations that I found myself in where my head was in the sand, it was because I had not healed parts and versions of myself, and I still was seeking validation outside of me versus within me. And that caused me to hold on to situations and people and environments when I knew it wasn't good for me. That cost me anxiety, even times of depression. And I'm trying to understand why do we, well, I do understand, because it's the neuroscience, it's the neurobiology behind it, but we don't want to talk about it. So we rather hold on. And it really, the other piece to this, particularly in the Black communities, because if we look at the impact of slavery and the impact of obeying masters, the impact of how we were raised to be quote unquote submissive, this takes away our ability to think independently. And anytime we think outside of what we've been conditioned to think, we start thinking that something is wrong with us. We start thinking that something is wrong with us. This is really the survival, this is survival instinct. It's survival conditioning. I can't shake the boat, because if I shake the boat, if I challenge what I've been told, if I challenge what I see, if I challenge what's been done to me, if I heard someone say, and I'm because it hit me like never before. I heard a spiritual leader say that it's time for Generation Xers to unmute. Part of this unmuting is exposing and identifying that some of the things that we've held on to as belief and as God is not, in fact, God-like at all. It's comfort. It's comfort disguised as godness, but it's not God at all. And it's not good for our mental health. And it creates a lot of dissension, a lot of judgment, a lot of harmful thoughts, and a lot of harmful interactions and actions towards people. Creates a problem. And so I wanted to get on here because I'm seeing it show up in clinical spaces, and I'm seeing it show up when I do my spiritual work as well. When I ask a person, why do you believe what you believe? I was raised that way, or this is just what I believe, without any challenge. Or you see a pattern of things being done that how a leader shows up, or actions that leaders does across the board. And when you see it, you say, well, they're human too. Yeah, they are. They are human. We all are human. And there's a time when we have to take action, particularly when we're in situations that are harmful. So I wanted to hop on here today because I have concerns around that. That head in the sand is protective dissociation. Protective dissociation, rather. When we put our heads in the sand, we detach from the truth, because when we do that, then we're not responsible. Because when we know truth and we refuse to acknowledge truth and refuse to walk with truth and refuse to dance with truth, we become responsible for the things that we know. And there's a penalty for that, y'all. I've paid it, and I've made a decision to stop paying the piper. When I know the truth and I choose to apply the truth, that is when my freedom manifests, and that is when my freedom comes into play. Yes, I'm adamant. Am I adamant? Yes. Because I will be very honest. I am so weary of seeing us suffer. I'm so weary of seeing us not calling a spade a spade. I'm so weary of us giving money, time, and energy to leaders, to organizations that don't mean us any well, that have ulterior motives, that use their gifts to manipulate, to control. I am very passionate about it. Then we're demonizing people like Dr. Carrie Bryant. We're demonizing her. We're demonizing Drewski. We're demonizing all of these people. Meanwhile, we've attached God to a godless president and leader. Make it make sense, because it doesn't. We're afraid to call out leaders that are wicked, that are deceitful, that are wolves in sheep's clothing, that have a charisma that is deadly. And we're covering, and we're keeping it quiet, and we're staying. Yes, I'm saying what I'm saying. And I'm so comfortable in my skin right now. And yes, I want it to be shared. Yes, like it. Yes, tell somebody else about it, because this needs to be addressed. The neuroscience behind these toxic, harmful connections that keep you bound and keep you deceived and keep you comfortable, because there's a part of you that still has not healed the trauma from your past, the trauma from your childhood, the trauma from all of the things that you refuse as a person to heal. And church and religion is a great place to mask your pain and to mask the trauma. And we can spiritualize it until we can't spiritualize it no more. Yes, I am very adamant about it. Yes, if I'm making you feel uncomfortable and making you upset, good. Because there are those of us who are holding on to things, and we know we need to let it go. We know we need to let it go. We know we need to call it out. We know we need to separate. We know, and we're waiting on something else. I don't know. I keep saying I don't know what it is, but I do know what it is. I do know what it is. When we fail to embrace the neuroscience and the role that our brain plays in trauma bonding and in religiosity, y'all, a lot of this stuff that we're attached to, that we're calling God, is religion, and it's cult-like. It's not God at all. It's fear-based, it's fear-mongering, it's manipulative, it's controlling. And our brains are wired not to shake the boat. Not to shake the boat, because if I shake the boat, then I'm messing with my sense of comfort. I'm here today to create intentional discomfort. I want you to sit with your cognitive dissonance, and I am pushing you to challenge it. This is the time to walk in assurity, to walk in clarity, to walk in courage, and to walk in boldness. It took me a minute, and I realized this. I've been fighting my own self with speaking so clearly and so boldly. But I'm telling you, in these healing spaces, I'm seeing people struggle. We're punishing people because of sexuality, because we don't have our own sense of self. We've not learned to love ourselves unconditionally. Yes, I'm very adamant. Yes, I expect to make people upset and uncomfortable. Yes, I expect for people to even judge me, but I don't care. I don't care anymore. I don't care. Say what you want to say. Do what you want to do. I don't care. Because there's some people who are hearing what I'm saying. Even if you come back and listen to this at another time, you're hearing what I'm saying, and you know what I'm saying is absolutely the word, the liberation that your heart and your soul has been longing for. Get your mind right in 2026. Do the work to really expose the conditioning that is keeping you bound, and that is keeping you held up, and that is keeping you stuck. It's impacting your money too. Yeah. Let me see if there's something else. Let me look. Rest of my notes. 1 second. Hey, Leslie, thank you so much. Okay. I want to read this definition of trauma bonding. What trauma bonding is? Trauma bonding is when a person becomes emotionally attached to someone who harms them because the harm is mixed with love, praise, attention, and relief. Did y'all hear that definition? Trauma bonding is when a person becomes emotionally attached to someone who harms them because the harm is mixed with love, praise, attention, and relief. Let's take it further. How it gets created in religious and cult like spaces. Listen to this. The leader system and or cycles, the leader system cycles rather people through these dimensions. Listen. Love bombing. You're chosen. Your family. You're called. I see you. Through withdrawal and punishment, shaming, silence, public correction, demotion, isolation, exile. Then reconnection. I forgive you. Now you're back in alignment. God restores you. The up and down is the glue that keeps the trauma bond in place. It keeps the cognitive dissonance in place. And what your brain and body learns is this. It learns to chase relief and not truth. Your stress hormones, that fear and vigilance, it rises, and then the reunion moment gives a dopamine hit, a reward. And over time, you associate the leader with the only way back to peace. Listen to me. This is how it plays out in our minds, and this is what we tell ourselves in real life. Listen. I know they're wrong, but I miss them. Or when it's good, when they preaching or when they dealing or when they prophesying, when it's good, it's so accurate. Maybe it's me. Maybe I was out of order. I have been here, done that. We defend them and then cry later because two realities are fighting within us at the same time. This is a nervous system pattern, and our bodies become trained and our brains become trained for that connection because it equates to safety. So it will tolerate harm to avoid abandonment, isolation, rejection. I hope I'm making sense. I hope I'm making sense. I hope y'all sharing this. I hope you're liking it. I hope I'm disrupting. I hope that I'm making you feel uncomfortable. I hope that I'm shaking up some foundations. I hope that I'm making you mad. I hope that I'm making you relook at some things. I hope that I am convincing you to take your head out of the sand and to think. Y'all, some of us, we're trauma bonded to our leaders. Mm. I'm talking from experience. Mm. When an inner child in you doesn't heal and it looks for a mama and a daddy and a leader, and it looks to be seen and validated through leadership and through position and through power and through association and proximity. Heal, heal, heal yourself, heal. Do whatever it takes to heal the inner child that seeks connection and seeks to be seen. Reparent yourself. Heal. I've never been more serious in my life. Heal. Because as long as you don't, you're going to stay on a path to self destruction and you'll never elevate fully. And you'll never live a life that's fully aligned. You'll never live a life that's fully attuned. Heal. Heal and then cut it off. Stop looking for your mother and your father and your leaders and your boss and your spouse and your this and your that and your friends. Reparent yourself. Heal that inner child. See yourself. Validate yourself. Love yourself. Tell yourself all of the wonderful things that you're looking for other people to do and to be. Be it to yourself first. Be it to yourself. This is not the hour to be misled, and this is not the hour to stay in a trance. This is the hour to awake, to awaken, to rise. Yep. And leave people alone. Work on yourself. Work on yourself. Okay. I think I'm done. I think I'm done. I hope y'all have a good rest of the day. And I'm going to be talking more and more about this because I'm seeing the harm and I'm seeing people not live full lives. And I care. All right. I see y'all. See you next time. Like this video and yes, share it. Please share it. Share it. And I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace out.